There we go. We'll just give this 1 second or two, Glenn. We are now live on Periscope, but we're just going to give our viewers, our listeners, viewers we'll call you, a minute or two just to join us. Welcome back to my kitchen. And look, we've got another guest with us. It's Glenn Olsson. Now, I'm sure a few of you will be saying, well, who's Glenn Olsson? I'll tell you who he is. The most important man in Rally Sweden. He is the CEO, Chief Executive Officer. That's a position I aspire to. Never been a Chief Executive of anything. Glenn, though, here is the Chief Executive Officer of Rally Sweden. He's the man that's responsible for making it happen. And Glenn, first of all, congratulations. This time a week ago, your rally seemed in doubt. Not quite a week ago, 8 or 9 days ago, your rally seemed in doubt. What an enormous effort you and your team put in to make Rally Sweden happen. Congratulations. I know it was a very hard week for you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm really glad that we're still alive and that we did the event, and it all worked out fine.
Do you know what? It didn't just work out fine. It worked out brilliantly in that you had a fantastic event. Strangely enough, and I talked to Bex about this yesterday, one of the most enjoyable WRC rounds that I've been along to for a very long time. And I don't know why that was. I don't know whether that was partly because of the fact that there was so much that went on before it, or just down to the fact that at the end of the day, we had a fantastic sporting occasion.
Yeah, and we had real luck with the weather in the end as well, with the snow coming in, and we had real nice pictures in TV and stuff like that. So yeah, in the end, it was still a good rally.
Well, listen, Glenn. There's thoughts from the kitchen table. I don't know where you are. Are you in your bedroom, or where are you? You're not in your kitchen. Where are you?
I'm back at the office. We are still working.
Good man. Well, I'm in my kitchen. Thoughts from the kitchen table. It's quite a new concept, but I'd have to say, when I talked on Twitter this morning about the fact that we were going to have you as a guest, we've had loads of questions. So what we'll do, a lot of the questions, guys, I know an awful lot of you have written in questions for Glenn. A lot of them are similar, so we'll try in the next 15 minutes or so to put most of the questions to you, Glenn. One of the questions, Glenn, that came in was with regards to last week. How close were you to having to call the event off?
Yes, it was really close. On Saturday and Sunday morning, I was feeling that we didn't have any cold in the forecast at all. It was showing that it's going to be plus degrees during the whole rally weekend. And I really felt that this is not going to work. This is not going to work. And the first cold forecast came at 10:30 on Sunday. And I think at 12 o'clock we had cold in almost every forecast. So then we started to work again. On Sunday morning I went to work and I felt I'm going to cancel the event.
Oh, my wordy word. Now, as I mentioned, you're Chief Executive Officer of a company that runs the event. Financially, what would that have meant? Would that have meant potential bankruptcy? The word bankrupt we heard being mentioned a number of times last week. Was that on the cards?
Yeah, it would definitely have been a bankrupt for us because we had lost almost 2 million euros in income if we had cancelled the event, in ticket sales and VIP sales and starting fees and stuff like that. So we could never survive that. It would have been the end of the company.
Well, thank goodness for the Swedish weather. Now, another question that comes out of, I suppose, the problems that you dealt with brilliantly over the course of the week was contingencies for future Rally Swedens. Is it possible that in the future we might see a contingency where there might be a non-studded snow tyre available, maybe the option of safety crews for our drivers? Are those kind of contingencies a possibility to cover what happened this week, should it happen again?
It's not our decision as an organizer. That is up to the FIA and the promoter to decide if that should be happening. But we are in a dialogue now where we are trying to secure more snow-safe areas for the rally, and we are going to look into the itinerary for 2017. We're already started to look at stages, and let's see what happens. This year's climate, I hope it will not be something we'll have every year, but if this climate continues and we have these problems with the weather, again, of course, we need to think about which area in Sweden we can run it in.
Karlstad is the traditional home of Rally Sweden, and there's very good reason for that. You have a wonderful team based around Karlstad. I know the Karlstad commune put a fair amount of money into the event. But is there a possibility that, for example, we might move up to Torsby for the service park next year? Is that a possibility?
Yes, I've been talking about the possibilities for the service park location already in media, so we have two options left to look into in this region, and since we couldn't still be in Hagfors because of the problems with accommodation, and so we have two options. The options is Torsby for the service park or Karlstad for the service park, and that is have to be a decision up to the teams and the FIA and the promoter to help me to decide which one. And there is benefits with both of them, and but this is going to be decided within a couple of months.
What we see, Glenn, those of us that have been fortunate enough to come across to your event and to see a little bit of the countryside around Torsby, around Hagfors, around Karlstad, is that when you go north of Torsby, it tends to be, I know you can't guarantee snow, but there tends to always be snow up there. What is the issue with running, say, longer liaisons? In the olden days, rallying used to run more or less through the night. Is there enormous opposition to, say, running 3-hour liaisons, getting the boys out of service at, say, 5 o'clock in the morning and driving 3.5 hours up towards Lickanass and the stages up there? Surely that could be something that we could look at.
The possibilities with the service park in Torsby that you can lower the transportation to Karlstad a little bit. You don't need to go back there every day, and you can still use the park for me in Torsby, that location. And you also could reach more stages further up north, and so with the Torsby location, it's definitely possible to look at the Liaisons again. You can still find more stages up north of the stages where we had the snow this year, and so that is, of course, in our planning already, but of course we need to decide where the service park should be, and that is something we need to decide together with the teams and the FIA and the promoter.
And it's obviously great news that now you have a long-term, long-term, is 3 years long-term? I think it is, isn't it, in the current climate? 3 years is a long-term. You have a long-term deal. So you can put plans in place for those 3 years, and that's great news. That's a great indictment of the wonderful job that you do, the fact that the FIA and the promoter have given you this tremendous deal.
Yes, it's really good for us, and we really needed it in this situation, because for us it's going to be another as successful year as we planned financially, so we need to have a future to look at, and with those 3 years again we can continue with our discussion with all our partners, and so we are already started up and having discussions with communes and the region, and also with other partners. So we are already working with financing our 3-year contract.
Oh, that's fantastic news indeed, Glenn. Now, one of the other things that came up this morning was the discussions that were being had. While you were struggling to put this event on, there were a lot of other winter events mentioned, the likes of Russia, strangely, was mentioned. Canada was mentioned. Japan was mentioned as possible alternatives for a winter rally. Did that worry you at all, the fact that there were other countries trying to steal your slot, if you like, in the WRC calendar?
Yeah, of course, we always feel that we don't have a place in the calendar forever. That's the feeling we have, and we know that's the conditions we live on. So we need to fight to be in the calendar, and that's we have to continue with that. And for us, we need to develop our event together with with the teams and the FIA and the promoter, everyone. And but we really feels nice that we could get the 3-year contract, and it's also a proof that we are doing something good that is appreciated. So we are going to continue that work.
You're not just doing something good, Glenn, you're doing a lot of good stuff. I remember a few years ago when we were in a little bit of trouble at Rally Sweden, and you helped us out personally tremendously well. You're one of the good guys, and it's good to see the good guys getting a bit of a break. You've got a break in terms of the weather, you've got a break in terms of your 3-year deal. It's fantastic to hear. Now, just a couple more questions that came in this morning. There's some coming up on my screen. Yeah, just someone there saying that you've got some of the best stages in the world. That's absolutely right. Rally Sweden belongs in the calendar. I totally agree with that as well. A question came in from one of our media friends this morning, Glenn, on a slightly less political note, shall we say, saying, or they wanted to know, over the years, you obviously have been around many years with Rally Sweden. Is there any particular image of Rally Sweden, a photograph, say, that was taken, or a particular car that to you epitomises Rally Sweden, that says, this is Rally Sweden? Have you got a favourite? I know I've got a favourite in terms of world rallying, but have you got a favourite in terms of Swedish rallying, a picture or a car that sums up Rally Sweden?
Yeah, we have loads of nice pictures, and we've been trying to work quite hard the last years to also improve our images that sends out through our websites and our social media channels. But I can't say that I have any specific favorite. But we're working quite hard together with McLean, and they are providing us with really good images in our marketing. So every year we always find something new that really can use in our promotion and stuff like that. But for us in the latest years, we have also trying to focus more not only on the cars. We're trying to also show the fans that are involved in the event and show they are so incredible. People are coming in costume. They dressed out like kangaroos. They dressed out like Mexicans. So I really love those images as well, because it's so much Rally Sweden and running for us. So I don't images with the cars.
We're just losing you for a second there, Glenn. It might be because my house phone is ringing. Hopefully that's not what it is. Tell you, I've got a couple of images that I love from your event. You still with us, Glenn? Oh, what a pity. What a pity. It looks as if we might sadly have just lost Glenn Olsson.